In MySQL, we have some qualities that we can set for each column inside a table and have more control over the functionalities of that column. In this video, we'll be talking about foreign key, not null and unique, that are some of those qualities and can give us much more flexibility in working with MySQL tables. Let's first start with foreign key. We use foreign key when we want to relate a column inside a table to another column inside another table. This is known also as the parent-child relationship. Let's say that we have a table called students, and inside this table we have a column called student underscore ID that is primary key. Basically, primary key means that there won't be any two rows inside this table with the same record as a student. It will be unique. We will talk about primary key later on in the next lessons, but for now, just know that the student ID will be unique record stored inside each row, and there won't be two rows with the same record inside this table. Also, we have another table called courses, and this courses table has a specific column inside it called a student ID as well. It can be anything, but this student ID is the column that we want to use as the child column related to the student ID inside the student table. We can do it like this: student ID, then the data type, and after that we can type foreign key. Inside the parentheses we can type the column name, and the reference will be the column name inside the other table that is the students. This is the structure of foreign key when we want to relate and reference another column from another table to a column inside our table. Also, we have some options in hand that we can use, so when the parent column is either updated or deleted, the corresponding changes will be made on the records on the child column. So, for example, Cascade, set null, restrict, and no action with the functionalities that you are seeing on the screen can be used, so when the parent column is updated or deleted, the child item will be affected. Here's an example of triggering the Cascade function when one record on the parent item is deleted. This part is a little bit sophisticated, so I describe it slower, and you need to focus on it a little bit more. Let's say that we have two tables, orders and order items. Inside the orders table, we have a column called order underscore ID that is primary key, and we want to use it as the parent column. Inside the other table that is order underscore items, we have another column with the same name, order underscore ID, that we want to use as the child column, and we want to relate it with the column with the same name on the orders table. We have done it using the foreign key, and as you see, the order underscore ID column inside order underscore items table is now connected to the order underscore ID column of orders table using foreign key. Now let's say that we want to set an action for deletion on the parent column. The parent column is inside our orders table, and let's say that we have a record in this table that has order underscore ID 1. Now we want to delete the same record on the order underscore items table when the record on the parent column inside the orders table is deleted. In this case, we can type on delete Cascade, just the last line of this screen. This means that when we delete a record with order underscore ID 1 from the orders table, the same record with the same order underscore ID on the order underscore items table will be deleted. I know this may look a little bit confusing, but actually it's very simple. When we delete the parent record, the child record will be deleted with a simple line of code on delete Cascade. So if you had a little bit problem understanding the subject, please watch it again so it will be more clear to you. Now, as said previously, we can use those four actions for update and delete, but these actions are not available for insert or create. So when we have a new record inserted in the parent item and we want to make changes on the child item, we need to use another technique that is called trigger. And this is the structure of the command that we can create to take effect on the child items when the parent item, the parent column, has a new record inserted into it. In this video, we're not about talking about triggers, as we will dedicate a complete video only to triggers, and we'll be talking about triggers in detail in that video. But just have in mind that those four actions are only available for update and delete, and if we want to trigger any action on insert or create new records for the child item, we need to use triggers. The other column quality that we want to talk about in this video is null and not null. By default, columns are set to null in MySQL, but when we set a column to not null, it means that this specific column must have a data on each record. When we're trying to insert a record in a table, and we are not presenting any data for the column that is set to not null, we'll get an error saying that you're trying to insert empty record in this column, and this column is set to not null, and it means that must have a data, and so this is the cause of the error. So not null means that we must have record for that column, basically. The last column quality that we'll talk about in this video is unique. When we set a column to unique, it means that all records on this table must have a unique entry for this specific column. Let's say that we have a table called users and we have set two fields of username and email to unique. In this case, no two users are allowed to use the same username or email for their accounts, and all usernames and emails inserted in this table must be unique. That's it for this video, and in the next videos we'll be using these qualities in our commands and code, so you will be more familiar with using them while you're working on real-life projects.